Gentlemen, what a fantastic game you guys played on Saturday. What a difference from last week's game versus the BC Tigers. Congratulations on your 5-1 victory. You guys worked very hard and you guys deserve to celebrate. Let's take a look at some of the stats that we were able to gather from this game. The total attempts that we had at this game was 21. And if we take an average from the last 3 games, we had 11. So almost double the output. We scored 5 goals, which almost doubled our output from the season average. And the opponent attempts were only 10. Compared to over the last few games, I think this average is a little bit higher because of the BC Tigers game. But that was a 23.7% average. So bringing that down to 10 is huge. And then we spent 22.3% in the attacking third possession. So again, up overall from the entire season. So great job, boys. You guys worked really hard. All right, so we had 21 attempts on net. We had 12 corners this game, which I don't know if we've had 12 all season. And we scored 5 goals. So we did such a great job here. We didn't just a counterattack. We were in their half. We owned this team. 81% of our attempts were inside of that box. So that just goes to show that if we can get ourselves down there, we have lots of opportunity and we are very dangerous when we are down there. Let's talk about our spotlights for the game here. So covering some goals and man of the match. So Liam, with he was the attacking engine here. He scored 2 of the goals and assisted 2 of the goals. Lethal presence in midfield, and he moved to CDM or center defense in the second half of the game, just because it was a little bit warm and we wanted to make sure nobody overheated. Did amazing all around. Nick scored a goal. He assisted on Liam's opening goal. Did awesome through the midfield. He set the tone early with the assist in the opening 3 minutes, and you helped drive pressure by earning multiple corners and also taking multiple corners. So great job in there. Also want to call a special shout out to Evan on the other side as well. You guys both did really well in the middle of the field and really helped contribute to the offense and defense this week. Man of the match, Noah. So we put him up on the left side. He had a nice lob goal that went in from pass from Viren. He had one that nailed the crossbar. He had some really great crosses and really helped create some scoring opportunities and hustled his butt when he needed to. So great job, Noah. Congratulations on man of the match. So the tale of 2 halves here. Please disregard the number of minutes there, but we scored 4 goals in that first half with only 1 attempt on the net. Then in the second half, there was 9 attempts with 1 goal allowed, which we'll cover. And we did take a penalty within our box there. So there was a penalty kick as well. So that just shows we need to put in the effort for not just 40 minutes, right? We need to put in that effort for an entire 80 minutes. Look at what happens when we put in full effort for at least half that game. We dominated them. All right, let's start us off with our goal. So the first goal we've got is 1 minute, 30 seconds in. We've got the opponents making a throw in, and we are starting to press them here and force them to make a turnover here. Alden steps in. Nick puts this up nicely. Liam comes in, makes his move, and puts it in the back of the net like he does. The next goal, Liam returns the favor. We get a ball down the sideline here. Nick drags the whole team down with them, makes a move, puts a pass out front, and Nick puts it in the back of the goal. Goal number 3. We've got this coming from the back here. So Eli was breaking out, recognized some problems, turned it around, sent it to Viren. Viren sends it to Parker. Parker sees an opening. We put that through to Joel. Joel goes around one guy. He goes around two guys. And he goes up the middle, sends it to Liam. Liam steps around and has an easy goal in the back of the net. That was a beautiful breakout from all the way at the back of the net. We recognized that there was pressure on the left side. We turned it back around, swung it around the field, went up and scored a goal. Amazing work. Great formation. All right, our fourth goal here. We have a battle in the middle with big number 7. He makes a bad pass. He gives up, gives us an opportunity to make a nice 1-2 pass out here. Good sprint down the wing here. We're buying some time. Getting some players to come up here. And we put a cross in the middle. We battle for that ball. We battle, and we find an opening and put it in the back of the net. And we've got somebody on the far post as well. Great hard work and great goal. And then our final goal here comes from one of our corners. They get in front of it and have no fear. We put it back in. We send it way outside here and lob one in and into the back of the net. That one goes. And we had 2 players hanging out in front of the net there waiting for rebounds. Great work on the offense, boys. Amazing work. All right, let's take a look at some of the offense here. So we're going to look at a couple of different things here with hustling, positioning, and maybe look at some of the composure and some passing here. So let's take a look at this breakout with our formation here. So we've got Joel back as center back here, sends it up to Nick on the fullback side here. We put that through the right mid, sends that up through, I think Parker was playing right mid at that point, or right wing, and delays. We put a ball out into the middle here, and we run out of time, and we make a turnover there, and the ball goes back the other way. It was a really good breakout all the way from the back here again on the offensive side. I liked how fast everything moved up here. In that case, I think we might have just got stuck, and we've got to call for some options here so we can get that into the back of the net. All right, so this was a corner kick that got sent all the way through, and look at Alden's hustle here. He goes and makes sure that this ball does not go out. He's shielding the ball here. He recognizes we have somebody available here. Parker sends it down. It's we've got Liam that's down there. He's going to take care of some business here. He's going to put it up. I think that's Noah there, and we put it into the middle here and do an overall nice job of just being calm and thinking about what to do next here. So nothing really too critical there. I love the passing around there. We're very calm. Let's keep that up. Okay, so we got another one here that looks like it's a corner kick for us. We got some running in here, and I love how Parker just comes over here and just hustles. A little bit of a bad touch there, so it doesn't go to Nick. But the fact that we had defenders or the offense coming, there was a full-on hustle to get that ball and to keep that in play. Great work. Okay, so this is a great play here. If I dial this back just a little bit here. So this is one of their corner kicks. There weren't very many of them. Remember last week, there was a lot that they had. If we look here, I can see a hand on a check here. There's a hand on a check here. There's a hand on a check back here. We're very close here, and a hand and on a check here. So let's run this through here. They send it through. We intercept that ball and then send that up and have a nice pass through here. Connor almost with a breakaway. Their defender catches up, but we make a nice little recovery here, a little play. Chip that ball down into the corner. Again, it gives us time to get set and make some plays. We got to make sure that we pass that nice and crisp, but we end up making a play here. Liam does what he does again, and he just starts driving the front of the net. They get a piece of it there. But look at all the shots that we're getting. We almost get a header there, another shot. We just need to finish those ones and bury those ones and put it in the back of the net. All right, so here we've got another corner. It looks like we've got a bit of a play set up here in the middle. We've got, it looks like Parker again here. is dragging a bunch of people around here. Just misses a header, goes off one of our players. Ball's bouncing around here again, and it results, I think, in another corner here. If we have situations where our back is to the goal, the goal is not to try and get control and then turn around and try and score it. Is get control and send it to somebody up in the box here, right? We've got players that are going to be available. There's several times where we're trying to just force the ball a little bit to the back of the net, and just a little pass out gives somebody that opportunity to just wind up and bury that in the back of the net. All right, so we've got a throw in here. This is a really nice throw in that is well connected, well timed. That's from Connor, Nick, and Evan, and that ball almost makes it in the back of the net. This last one here for this theme is just playing the offside line and being a little bit aggressive, right? So we've talked about that, especially if there's no official AR. We can toe with that line a little bit. We can get very close to it, and it's gonna be hard for that ref to see. We'd rather see you guys get called for the offside than, just stand there and not do anything. So we're trying to make plays here. We go back a little bit. Joel sends one down here, and we get called for offside here. Yeah, one was pretty close. Could kind of go either way each time. So great work on the offense side there. So what we'll look at here is just composure and passing. So remember that 8.8% of the team's completed passes, our team's completed passes, happened in the attacking third. So to improve, we need to make decisions a little bit faster. So here we've got a ball breaking out from the back here. We chip that down. We're breaking out super fast. And look at this, we're in the 70th minute here, and we still have some really good hustle. Unfortunately, we turned the ball over. We didn't have a clean pass there. We just need to work on that composure a little bit more, talk with each other. We don't need to get rid of that ball so quickly. There was still some bit of a lane here that we could go through, come down, and keep running and maybe get it in front that way. Then we've got another one here where we get the ball, nice little spinorama there. We pass that ball up. So we got lots of time here in the middle. Look at how nice and calm we are looking. That formation looks great. We send it up. This is a great little chip pass down. We've got Noah making a break for the net. And one thing that we see here is there is a couple of our players just standing here wide open. I'm going to play this, and we go for a shot on a really tough angle. Could have maybe been a pass going to that one person in there, but there was a wide open player here that was showing and asking for the ball. And that's just something that we need to recognize to, again, capitalize to put that back in the net. And we've got another one here where we're working the ball here. We keep battling through, we're battling through, and we're just fighting and battling and fighting and battling. And that's either we need some more support here, or we just need to pass that ball a little bit sooner. That was a 18-second clip almost of one person holding that ball. In practice, we do a lot of one touch, two touch, maybe even three touch, right? That's not usually an 18-second run unless we've got lots of space that we're working with. So we just need to make sure that we're identifying that and passing it a little bit sooner. This one is nothing really too negative, but I did notice in a few clips that, or in a few situations, that our first touch isn't as good as it needs to be or could be, and is causing some turnovers, especially in the offensive side. So we get this ball over here, and Chase gets a pass over here to Evan, and Evan does a great job of busting through here. He gets through a bunch of people here. He wants to make one more move, and it's just a little bit too much, and it ends up being a turnover going the other way. No result in that, but again, just working on that first touch and having that timing. We see that with through balls, we're just a little bit too aggressive and just missing those opportunities by just a tiny little bit. All right, so this next one, so the opposing player here, I think has a bad touch that comes up right here. So that ends up giving Alden the ball here. Another nice, like, look at those plays. These are just magical. Sends the ball in the corner, gives us time to get our players down. Let's get that ball through. And that looks, I think that was a handball there. But the whole thing of this clip was they also had a bad touch, right? Sorry for the blur here. They had a bad touch and it forced a turnover right into onto our feet here. 1, 2. And then look at just how calm everyone is. Everyone's moving into position, need to know where they go. And we send one across, doesn't quite work. This one here, we again force a turnover. So Liam steals the ball here as they're trying to pass it back here. We recognize it and like everyone's trying to catch up. Liam's trying to make it around and he sees that everyone's blocking it. He makes another move. We get a shot out or a pass out and we end up missing the net there. And that one looked like it was a little bit due to just not being ready, maybe on the left side there, on the left foot. That's something that we just need to potentially work on a little bit more and practice. This one here, we'll run it again here, is we were talking about offsides before. We're a little bit too aggressive on that one. We were quite a few steps ahead on that one. And unfortunately, that was too much. And the referee called that one. So again, from an offensive perspective, you guys did awesome this game. We talked about the stats at the beginning there. We are on the right path. All right, let's talk about defense here. So we are going to go play this one back to our goalkeeper. And we've got a nice situation here where we're nice and calm again. There isn't too much pressure. We are in our formation. We are in our shape. We've got our players out here. And this is really about just taking some time and recognizing the situation. What we do here is see a player upfield and we try to boot it. But if I went back a few frames here, you could see it looks like it was Connor, was wide open in the middle of the field here, right? And everyone's kind of like looking this way. This guy starts telegraphing that this pass is coming. And maybe if this pass is a little bit higher, it would have been fine. But he blocks that. You know, not a result in a turnover or a goal or anything. It goes out for a throw in for us, but we just need to recognize those. We also want to take a look here at some turnover situations here. So this one is we're coming down the line here, and this was just a pass again into a whole bunch of players here. So if we run this one, I apologize for the blurring again. So if we started from here, we've got all this space here right now, right? And we force a pass without waiting or without taking our space. So that one could either go back to the goalkeeper and we could swing to the left side of the field like we did earlier in that video that I showed. Let's not try to force the play through here. So again, we're going to do a breakout from the back here. And we're going to put this through here. This was right at the very beginning of the game here. And Alden gets a little bit stuck here and is doing a little bit too many touch, trying to break free. He's got a guy on his backside. There's another guy watching or blocking over here. This is where we need to, when we identify the situation, we talked about this in practice. It's like you're up against the boards in hockey, right? Have another person come in. Maybe that's number 7 here, Connor coming in and supporting, or Nick coming in, and then Parker coming way back to the line here to call for the pass to help free it up. And then maybe, you know, that just ends up kicking it off the player and getting out. But we end up getting stuck in here for a little while, and it you know, we end up trying to get it out, and this was a nice, perfect pass right down that line. Like that ended up really good. We ended up having a good out and having them have to reset there a little bit. Okay, so this is the goal that they scored here. So they flopped this one up a little bit, and we're ahead on this one, and we just kind of both stopped, and I think it was a situation of I got it, no, you got it, no, you got it, I got it. And they just go in and slide it into the back of the net. There's another time that this happens as well here where they get a ball through and we kind of just slow up here instead of being super aggressive and, figuring out what to do with that ball, whether the goalkeeper's calling it or the center back is calling and then, running and kicking it out. You guys just need to communicate on there. Okay, so this one here is just making sure that we're staying goal side here. So this was an opportunity here where the players got a little bit of a step on us here. So if we're watching over on this side here, we line up, we've got our hands in the check, we got some battles going on over here, and this guy just turns away over here and gets away and gets in front of us and gets a few steps. And fortunately Joel stepped in here and blocked that one, but that ended up in a turnover there and almost a shot on the net. And then we've got some good battling happening going on here. We get a ball flipped in here, and then we've got a great battle happening here by Alden. He comes in, steps in front, gets that ball, and starts going upfield with it. And again, just waited a little bit too long to make a pass on that ball, but still gets that ball back and ends up going down the field here. We make a pass, and we end up making it into their zone here for almost a goal. So we crashed the net there and just missed out there. So just again, let's remember the 1-2 touch and let's try and get rid of that ball a little bit faster here. All right. With the final play of the game here, we've got Marcus and the penalty kick here. Let's play this out here. And what a diving save. That was so awesome. I don't like how this keeps blurring all the time. We can see it again and again and again. And with that, the standard has been set. That was an 8 out of 10 performance. It was dominant, a good confidence building result. We proved that we can attack. We can get lots of shots on net and we can score lots of goals. This formation and the blueprint works. Let's make sure we're focusing. We're closing up any gaps. Let's turn a 7 out of 10 into a 10 out of 10 masterclass. We'll see you at the next game, boys.